Alright, Travis Wayne Goodsell. It's Halloween, October 31st, 2019. I saw on YouTube a post by ABC4 News Utah from last night's show about the Utah legislature having an emergency session, which is a little late for an emergency, about what to do with the homeless, how to murder them, punish them, torture them, and deny them existence. And you think I'm being hyperbolic, but not unless you know Utah. Yesterday I posted about the ABC4 News Utah report about Ogden City Police forcing the homeless into shelters, which shelters have now been designated as prison camps, where the homeless have to be ID'd, so they get a special homeless ID, as well as they are to conform and comply to caseworkers for all of their torture techniques. And again, I'm not being hyperbolic, but Spencer Cox was reported as saying that that there are many homeless who qualify for the HUD voucher. The only problem is, and he didn't say this, he just he minimized it, but there's a housing crisis in Utah, and I reported that on yesterday's video. This housing crisis is designed to prevent the poor and the homeless from obtaining shelter, and that's why these new shelters that they're trying to get built and still aren't built. We've got another 4 weeks, according to today's reporting from ABC4. There is no room in Utah, and people have nowhere to go, and of course Utah doesn't want to admit it because they're anti-climate or climate deniers, I guess is what it's called. And so Utah is number one on polluting the world, as Utah is one of the most, if not the most, polluted places on earth. And I know especially because of my breathing problems. And so it's just sad. Also, if you watch the report, they slip in no treatment beds. Treatment beds? What are they referring with treatment beds? They're talking about labeling the mentally ill or the homeless as mentally ill. They're trying to make that comparison. Oh, they're homeless, therefore they're mentally ill, because they're not normal people who are rich and are able to take care of a whole huge family on a single income in a nice suburban home that we're building across this state. That's the white supremacist Nazi agenda that you hear from Utahns, especially those in power. It's those little code words that you hear from them when they call you mentally ill because of what they themselves have caused. Remember, the government causes homelessness. It is not an individual thing that they've ruined their lives and therefore they're homeless. Those are very rare. It's always the government, whether it's because they refuse to regulate businesses and then businesses cause the employees to go through a breakdown over the financial problems that they're going through because they're not getting paid enough to live, that their partner, spouse, has to also work, which means any kids that they have, if they're able to afford kids, have to be put up in daycare. And so the family is divided in Utah, even though they're all about family first. You know, family's important for the Mormon Utah. No, it's not. It's all a fraud. It's all a front fraud. And so I just wanted to get that out there for you guys today so that you understand what's going on here. That the homeless are being murdered because of the global crisis causing harsher winters. It's been a while since October used to have a hard freeze, but it has happened. It's just been a long time since we've had it, but this is expected as we near the global extinction of all biological life on the planet. And that's what happens when you heat things up beyond what they're supposed to be. And this isn't because of the increase in population. It's because we're tearing down the forests. The Amazon, gone. And so that's going to cause an increase in the temperature of the globe. And like you've seen and heard and know about, the Earth has a high temperature. That's sick. You know, when we get a high temperature, we can't function. We're useless. We have to take cold ice baths and stuff to cool our body temperature down because our brain will fry. Well, for the Earth, the brain is the life for biological life. And when that fries, biological life goes. And that's what's coming, because the CO2 that increases from the combustion engine and all the factories, those are the real causes of the increase. If we just had a garden paradise, we could handle a greater population growth if we were using solar power rather than obsolete pollutants as our energy source. And so when you increase the CO2 to dramatic amounts, that releases the methane. Permafrost, for example, up in Canada is getting released, and Canada is experiencing potholes in the earth collapsing, causing roads to collapse under these potholes where permafrost used to be, because Canada is supposed to be cold. and with the increase in temperatures, that permafrost is melting and releasing the methane. And the reason, so one leads to the other. And of course vegetation is supposed to absorb the carbon dioxide in the photosynthesis process and release oxygen, which humans are able to breathe. And so if we had the plants, we can increase the population, no problem. But we're destroying the plant life on Earth and increasing the combustion engine and pollutant energies, and that's increasing the carbon dioxide, and that's releasing the methane. The methane, we can't breathe methane. We're going to die under methane. And the methane will then change the seas where the fish won't be able to survive. And I saw an Exxon commercial. Ooh. They're saying they're doing research on turning algae into fuel. We won't have algae if we weren't having the global temperature crisis caused by Exxon in the first place. So that's disturbing, that the cause of this problem is being solved by the cause. So just wanted you guys to be aware of what's going on.